We have in our midst, Mrs. Neeta Verma, Director General NIC, who's the guest of honor and will be presenting the awards. But before that, I would like to request Mr. Pradeep Gupta, CMD of Cyber Media, to please felicitate her with a bouquet. As I said in the beginning, there is a special, besides the warm relationship that we have with NIC, an old relationship, and Mrs. Verma, I think there is a very a good reason because of which we have her here. She's been kind enough to take time off from her very, very busy schedule. See, this is a get-together, this is a gathering of technology officers, information officers, CIOs, CTOs, CSOs, and so on and so forth. So we thought that why don't we get the Chief Technology Officer, the Chief Security Officer, Chief Information Officer, all rolled into one of the Government of India. The Government of India, through its various programs, I think there must be, she is, I think, overseeing some thousands and thousands of programs and initiatives which are going on. Digital India itself is a huge umbrella under which there's so much happening. So we said that why don't we have her as the guest of honor, and she comes and she felicitates all the CIO winners here this afternoon. But before she presents the award, I would like to invite her on stage and talk to all of us about what are some of the important things, interesting things which are happening. Mrs. Neeta Verma.
Good afternoon to all of you. Finding it really challenging after such a magical presentation. Very nicely put. The basic thing of customer experience, and I very strongly believe that customer experience and user experience can be a huge differentiator when we do any IT. I don't know, I have not seen a very young generation of individuals coming, but by and large I have seen this aspect of customer experience is somewhere not covered in our curricula anywhere, and that is how somehow we tend to kind of miss on this aspect, making it reliable, making it error-free, and all other aspects of scalable becomes our priority. But as you see, and there are many use cases, some were shared with you, customer experience or user experience, and for us, citizen experience is really becoming a differentiator or becoming a key factor towards success or failure of an individual application or its usage that way. So that was very, very delightful to see that kind of a focus has been put in there. See, digital technologies have been influencing our life for some time now. And right from our personal to professional lives, in some aspect or other, they have influenced. Many of us in this room have personally witnessed that revolution or that transformation which has happened over the last few years. But at the same time, due to many factors which are external to these phenomena, have also made situation where benefits of these revolutions, of these transformations, have been limited to only certain segments of society. And as a result, we have a new kind of a division in the society, to which we very, very fondly say digital divide. So when this Digital India program was being formulated, one of the core philosophy which was launched in the year 2015 was to make it digitally inclusive. All initiatives under Digital India are primarily driven by the philosophy of digital inclusion, to be able to embrace all those people who have so far not been able to improve upon their lives, to have not been able to be getting benefited by this whole revolution of digital technology, for which many of you have contributed immensely. And Digital India program, though launched by a government, but this is something, if you really remember its launch, there were less of government people, more of industry veterans on the stage. That was a kind of a message given that this is, the digital India is such a huge vision that it cannot be really fulfilled by government alone. Government is a primary enabler, but there are a lot of players which will really contribute to us to get that inclusively empowered digital India. Primarily, Digital India works on 3 vision areas, though it has 9 pillars underneath. One is digital infrastructure to be available pan-India, digital services on demand, and most importantly, digital empowerment, digital enablement of stakeholders. In terms of infrastructure, we have seen a lot. Industry has contributed immensely, particularly in terms of prevalence of mobile phones, broadband, data, all that we have seen in last few years. Towards the government also, as National Informatics Center, as you know, we are 4-decade organization, and one of our mandate, among the key mandates, is to provide ICT infrastructure for the government. And as a result, we have multi-gigabit robust network available pan-India, which makes all government institutions, right from apex, federal, central government, to state government, going to district and panchayat, to be able to communicate on this network. So today, any communication which happens between government to business, government to citizens, it's all on that network which we have set up for these people. Another important thing which has happened during this time is that we have set up a national cloud for the government. This was set up, and as a result, today, for most of the projects when government is trying to do anything, they do not really have to worry of sizing of equipment, bringing out those RFPs, and then procuring installation, which used to make cycle of any project, to be launched is 1 year to 2 year minimum before anything could go live, because you have to do all these procurement and RFP processes for that matter. Today, they practically have to just apply for those resources and they get it, unless the project is too big where some specific procurement has to be done. So with this situation where you have your stakeholders who are citizens, who have these mobile phones, who have this data access, and then you have this cloud available, suddenly the whole paradigm in which we used to deliver these government services to the citizens underwent a huge transformation. There were times in the past where we used to develop these systems and then send teams across states, across districts, implement, install, then do hand-holding. All that completely went out of this thing. And at that time, as NIC, since we used to work for every state government, you also, for whatever reason, there used to be always variations, and you will find 25 different systems of commercial tax working in the country for 25 different states, kind of this thing. But what we have primarily done in this place is we have done a lot of consolidation of our own initiatives and tried to kind of bring up philosophy of one nation, one platform. And technology enabled us, infrastructure is there, and I'm very proud to inform you that today we have around 20 such digital platforms already operating in the country, which are pan-India platforms, which is being used by all state governments, all district administrations, as well as all sectors of the central government. In the paucity of time, let me just try to tell you 2-3 of such digital platforms and how are they being used. One is e-office, which is primarily digital office, so that whatever work happens in terms of notings, approvals of the government, everything should become digital. It's all digitally done. This is a platform which is single platform working across 340 different institutions. And when I'm saying institution, it could be complete central government ministry, or it could be a PSU for that matter, or it could be a complete state. Like if you look at state of Andhra Pradesh, they use this platform, and right from district collector to all files processed through this till the chief minister. So all decisions, everything is recorded on the same system. Same platform, only customization as a service to this thing. Single code works across all these things. Similarly, e-procurement. Whatever government tenders you are seeing, we have a common e-procurement portal. All tenders of the government, all institutions, not only government, even public sector institutions, or even banks or academic institutions, everybody uses these kind of platforms. The same platform is being used, and I don't even remember the numbers, the lakhs and crores of tenders have been done. Single platform, single instance is offered as a service to country as a whole. World Bank, ADB, you name who kind of deals with the procurement business nationally or internationally have acknowledged this effort. You have heard so much in many of the political things of this direct benefit transfer, where the money is being directly transferred. So we've developed a middleware which we call PFMS, through which now any department has to transfer money to any beneficiary. He simply has to call this middleware to an API, and after that complete interaction with banks happens through. This middleware has a team who has in turn under Ministry of Finance has made understanding with all banks and branches of this country, including the rural banks. So if any department or any state government has to transfer their benefit, they do not have to bother anything, which bank from where, nothing. They simply need to understand how do I integrate with this middleware, with this API. Same system, same platform is being used by 500 different schemes of the government, some of central and some of state. So that's generality of the whole thing. E-courts, we have a single software working in 20,000 district courts of this country. E-transport, again all RTOs using the same platform. They have migrated over the time, they have evolved. They had desktop systems to server systems to web-based systems, and now 90% of RTOs work through this digital platform, which is e-Vahan and Sarthi kind of a thing. What I'm trying to basically tell you, one is the kind of big systems or big platforms we are handling in the government, also trying to motivate you at the same time and give you kind of challenges which these systems or handling these systems which are truly kind of a web scale systems. Also trying to highlight that how by building these digital platforms, we have been able to generate a new kind of services which was never thought of. Like if you look at e-court system, because we had 20,000 courts using the same software, we are able to build a national judicial data grid, where all 10 crore cases which is happening, which is judged or which is under process in the courts of India, across India, can be accessed at one place. Complete proceeding of this court, even if it is, let's say, 30 years ago case, you could see at one place, at which we call National Judicial Data Grid.